Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live show with me. Don't forget the risk. Well, I shouldn't forget to take it off, eh? So, yeah, this is just for entertainment, right? So, nothing I say here constitutes financial advice. It's just a wee bit of what my opinion is. And if you're crazy enough and insane enough to come along on this journey, then come along with me and enjoy yourself and have a bit of fun. Risk your money and all that. Most traders lose money, don't forget that. So let's get on with it. Let's have a look at what's on the cards for today and what we're going to talk about and all the rest of it. And, well, Forex has got a big play in it, as you saw in the title there, learning how to trade with Forex. Don't forget, last week we had a winner on the two-step 10K challenge, and this week we'll have another one sometime during the course of the show. Right, and I'll show you which video it is in a little while, and you guys can make sure you've left your comments there, and we can put you in and have a wee draw and see who wins. Yeah, let's take my face out of the way. Otherwise, you guys won't be able to see the charts, will you? So I'll just put myself down the bottom here. Pretty much out of the way. I think that's out of the way. It does appear to be out of the way. Shall we go and have a look at the news first? Shall we go and see what's on the news and see if there's anything interesting on? Because there was something really important that I was looking at earlier. Let's have a look, shall we? I think it's over there. Gonna take us over to the markets, and there's old guess whose face is on the news again. Without a doubt, same old. Trump's tariffs are in limbo. After trade court's stunning rebuke, a federal trade court has blocked some of Trump's most sweeping tariffs. Wow, that's quite insane. That's actually quite important. Nvidia shares rise despite earnings miss. At the end of the day, kind of expected. By the way, hello, Chippo and Elaine. Good to see you've got your comments here in your chat. You're on the chat. You're obviously here on the show. Hopefully you are. Anyway. United to return to JFK and a deal with J. Goldman. Trump can offset tariff ruling with other tools. Real winner and GameStop's Bitcoin. Microsoft shares go from laggard to leader as AI growth improves. AI is becoming quite a big thing, eh? Wow, massive. I mean, nowadays you can literally make a video with AI. It's not that good, though. I don't know if you've noticed when you turn a video on and you hear that AI drone or voice or whatever the case, and there's not really that much excitement with it. It's not real and not good, and it's AI, and I normally end up switching it off. I do have a couple of test channels out there that I'm playing around with to see how these things work, and I can tell you this much, it doesn't really work that well. You'd have to spend as much time on an AI video as you would with a real video to make it any good anyway. So I don't know, people get involved in all that. JP Morgan hires former HSBC deal maker. Lee's stock falls on Chinese EV makers trying to increase product. It's quite interesting, the fact that every day there's something new on the tariffs, and every day there's like a bit of a U-turn on everything. It's kind of going a bit insane if you think about it. Hi, thanks for the great turn. I was getting alerts from my trend following strategy on the 4-hour and daily, but decided to only focus on one time frame, the 8-hour. Any opinions? The 8-hour, nothing wrong. Only problem you've got there, Morgan Doug, is nobody really trades the 8-hour, but it'll work. What I would normally people jump from the 4-hour to the day, or from the day back to the 4-hour. Generally, there's not a lot of people on the 8-hour, and effectively what you're doing when you're trading, you have to remember, is you're trading with or against other traders that are doing similar things to you. So most of the patterns in the market are affected by all those other traders that are in the market. But yeah, I don't see why it can't work. Guys, today, don't forget YouTube random comment picker. I'm going to pick a comment from this video, the master trend lines in 20 minutes, and then we're going to put it on the random comment picker, and we're going to find a winner for the Fundra FX two-step 10K challenge account today, which someone will win, as we did last week, and I hope you enjoy it. It's just a giveaway thing that I negotiated. I think we've given away 3 or 4 now. And at the end of the day, it's just so that you guys can have a bit of fun as well. And it's a good thing for you to learn to trade with, particularly if you're starting out. Look, I think if you're a seasoned trader and you've got your cash account and all that, and you're doing quite well, you don't need it. But it's great to have it, and it's great to practice with, and it's great for you to get ahead on, because it teaches you to trade for something real, for something that's actually going to make you some money at the end of the day. It teaches you to trade with something tangible, not just a demo account that you're gonna it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, because the trouble with a demo account for you guys is simply the fact that if you're on a demo account, the system is easy. It's the strategy that's difficult, and it's the psychology that's difficult. So, if you're working on just a straightforward demo account, you're going to win every trade, because it's just lines at the end of the day, and you're just taking high probability. But when it comes to reality, that's where it becomes difficult for you. That's where the markets become difficult. That's where the psychology becomes difficult, and then you kind of end up losing, and you wonder why, and then you trying to change systems and change to this and change to that. At the end of the day, you could literally take a chart and say, well, am I going to go up or am I going to go down? Throw a dart on the board and say, it's going up, and just take a trade. It wouldn't make much difference because the market's 50-50. But what you're doing effectively is putting things in place and high probability because of things that happened before on the systems, and it gives you a high probability trade. And then you can put the strategy in place to try and make the money. You know the strategy. If you don't know the strategy by now, then you haven't watched any of my videos. Time to go and watch the videos, guys, so that you can get the strategy, which is at the back end of every video just about. I don't think I leave it out on much. I did leave it out on the last video, the 5-minute video, which I basically answered a question about liquidity on higher time frames. And that one I didn't put the strategy in because I didn't feel the need to do it there. So if I put a short video out with regards to a question or something like that, then no, I'm not going to put it in there. And obviously I don't put it in the members videos that with the trade of the day every day. I don't put it in there. But on the bigger, more educational videos, then you will find the strategy in there in most cases. And tomorrow's video coming out will be why traders lose and why you guys always tend to lose and what's causing the losses. You need to watch that. It's important for your psychology so that you can figure it out. Kevin, morning. How's it? Welcome. Good to see you again. And here we are. Tell me it's cold in Scotland. I really hope it is, because it's cold here in Cape Town at the moment. Well, it's not that cold. It's not that bad. But we've got this wintry weather, and I guess our winter is a bit like your summer or something like that. Yeah, so my opinion on the 8-hour time frame is nothing wrong with trading the 8-hour time frame, and there's definitely nothing wrong with trading on only one time frame. I get it, but all I say is most people trade on the 4-hour, most people trade on the day. So when you get patterns, the patterns kind of line up with where most of the traders are. So keep that in mind. But what you can do, what people often do is they'll go and look on the day and see, okay, the day chart, this is the Australian dollar, US dollar, the day chart, everything's bullish. Everything looks bullish on the day chart, so that looks interesting. And then we go to the 4-hour chart, everything looks bullish on the 4-hour chart. Then we go to the 1 hour, it still looks bullish on the 1 hour. So in other words, I've gone 3 time frames down. Well, there's probably more in between, 2 hours, 8 hours, all that. But, I've kind of gone down to the 1 hour from the day and determined that everything is bullish down to the 1 hour. So I know that it's bullish down to the 1 hour. Take it down to the 30 minutes, it's still bullish. Take it down to the 15 minutes, it's gone kind of bearish. It's not following suit. So I know that on the 30 minutes, I can still play long trades. On the 1 hour, I can still play long trades. On the H4, I can still play long trades. And they're all going to follow a really strong analysis from the day chart. So you know that all your trades back down to the 1 hour, even the 30 minutes, should, no matter what you're trading on, you should only take long trades, because the day chart is telling you that pretty much everything's long, everything's bullish. And that gives you a bit of insight into the market if you're trading on the market. So US 500, for example, we are long on the US 500 because we believe it's long. But worried about all the sellers coming back into that candle. But, you know, that's if you play into candles and you work with candles. That's on a weekly. It's long. On a day, it's long. On a 4-hour, we've got a bit of sort of correction, but we're still long. We're still above the level. And we're hoping that, you see those 3 little red candles there, or that tail on the day. You see that tail of sellers that have come back into the market. That's this over here. But we are still bullish on it. Go down to the H1, and there's been a bit more of a tail, and that is generally caused by that same thing I just showed you now. But if you go down to the 1 hour, you've got a level up here of supply of money, which it'll all likely come back to anyway. And there's also a supply of money down here. There is a good chance that the price will correct down to the support and then bounce up because there is money down here at the support. So now what the 1 hour is actually giving you is a little bit of information. It's light information, but it's information. And the information it is that if it gets down to the support, there is in all likelihood, in all probability, a demand of money there that you can use. And so now you look at your H4 and you think, well, it's okay, because if my price gets back to this support, then in all likelihood, there's some money there and it'll probably go up anyway. So we don't have to panic on the US 500 trade, for example. That's just how we look at it. It's pretty straightforward. So the weather's good in Scotland, is it? Right, there you go. That's not too bad here in Cape Town. You know, we got the winter, but for us, winter's like your summer, so it's not too bad. Not hot, but not cold, and a bit of rain through the night, so cloud and sun, not too bad, really. So yeah, but the same here, actually. We've had a bit of, we get rain in winter here, whereas north of us in the Cape, like in our what we call Gauteng area and Natal area and that sort of thing, it actually rains in summer, and it's just a cold, dry winter up there. I lived up there for quite a while. It's a completely different scenario to down here. Whereas down here, we get the normal, you know, the summers are pretty cool and warm, and then the winter we get the rain, a bit like you guys. So yeah, it's actually better that way if I think about it. You know, if you know it's going to be cold and rainy, then so be it. That's winter. Winters do seem to be a little bit longer in Cape Town though than up north where the bush and that sort of stuff. Mario says, hi everyone, I'm a little bit late, but in Italy lunch is sacred. Yeah, I like that. I believe in Spain lunch is sacred as well. That's actually great. Lunch is not so sacred for us here in Africa. We kind of just eat when we got to eat. Don't know we like and breakfast alike, but yeah, lunch is, yeah, people just work straight through lunch here and do their thing, and you know, people don't really stop for lunch here. It's actually quite interesting. So there are quite a few people here. Yeah, that's great. That's growing, but better. It has been quiet this week in general on the YouTube side particularly, and then the trading has also been, it hasn't really been that exciting. We are long on the US 500. We are long on the Brent, as you know. The Brent crude oil, I've just got such a wide berth on the Brent. I'm leaving it down here, stop loss down here, and I'm just staying in this trade with a view to it going up. Let me just draw a trend line in here, completely out of interest, and see where it goes. And yeah, so it could come all the way back. Ooh, better not hit the, no, that's just the entry price. The stop loss is down here. For a moment there, I thought that was my stop loss. Ooh, goodness me. That would have been completely in the wrong spot, eh? That's all right. It's quite far away, so that's okay. This time I'm going to try and hold Brent as long as I possibly can, because I think it will go long eventually. I noticed the DAX is dropping off a bit. I don't know if any of you guys noticed that the DAX is dropping through here. Bit of a concern, but I'm not panicking on the DAX just yet, because I'm looking at it and thinking, you know, this support could move if there's another point that comes out further down. You know, what I'm looking at is there is a couple of points there. So this support with a third point over here could move out. So yeah, while we've got the line running through here at the moment, I think it actually looks more comfortable further out down here, because now what you get, now this is where you've got to be careful of your support lines, because you draw them in and you think that looks good, but then the structure kind of changes on you, and you've got to be flexible. You've got to be a little bit flexible with these trend lines, where support and resistance is pretty solid, but your trend lines have got to be a little bit flexible, because what happens now, you've got the point there, and then you've got that point there. Now, you could consider that 2 points, but, it's pretty much one. And then, you're sitting with a situation where you're looking at, this isn't 3 points on the trend, but if that one comes down and hits the trend, then you've got 3 for sure, actually 4. It kind of moves the trend anyway. But I look at that, and you've got to be flexible and think, well, this is actually moving out a little bit. It actually still isn't a bullish trend. It hasn't broken structure completely, and it hasn't changed the structure completely. And then the other thing that I would do in a scenario like this with the DAX, because we're looking at this and thinking, has it broken? Hasn't it broken? All you got to do is take this level over here. You see there's a nice level over here, a nice kind of support level, and say, all right, that kind of supports this price. I mean, only really going to change my mind if it breaks through that. So then you can leave that in there and say, well, that kind of tells me there is a bit of a line here in the sand where it hits, and it's hit there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 times. That's a lot of times that it's hit that line. So that's holding up quite well, and it used to be a kind of a resistance, and now it became a kind of support. It's a 4-hour, but it's there, and you want to look at that and say it's there. Let's just keep an eye on that. Let's just see what it does before we make any rash decisions on a short, because you take a short here and it hits there and it bounces straight back up, and you think, what happened there? Well, was it a pump and dump, as they call it? I still don't get that terminology, but anyway, there is some terminology in the market that is just insane. Do you know, when you guys go on a course, you always come back with all this terminology and everything about the market and all the abbreviations and what have you, and nobody actually taught you how to trade. It's actually quite interesting. I've seen it so many times. Let's have a look at gold. Kevin made a comment that I just love. Lunch must be sacred for Sir Lunchalot too. Where are you, Sir Lunchalot? I wanna see you read that comment. Oh, that's insane. That's the best yet. Well said. I do like that comment. So gold looks like it wants to try and find its way up again. That said, yeah, look at this. You see that there's this. It was a demand of money. It went through it, broke straight through it. And now guess what it's doing? It's going back up to find what is now a supply of money. So let's take the demand of money out now. Take the demand of money out. That's actually quite interesting, this. So you guys can see how the market changes on a minute-to-minute basis. Look at this. Look at how this demand of money has moved around now. So now what you've got is gold going back up into what is now a supply of money. What was a demand of money is now a supply of money. And it's grabbing that money, and perhaps it'll carry on going down because it is short at the moment. Interesting, eh? You see how quickly things change in the market, how quickly little areas can move around. Things that do stay in place are these support and resistances, because they're quite big and you normally take them from the day chart. So your support here is solid. That is not going to move around. That's not going to change. But what does change is these little supply and demands and these little trends and things like that. They do move around in the market, so keep an eye on that. Don't forget, the market's alive. The market is not a dead thing. It's alive. It's always alive. So keep your wits about you. Don't draw your lines in on Sunday or Monday and then forget about them, because they change. They change frequently. Shane's not here, so Kevin's getting all the ads. Aha. Yeah, but YouTube promised that the ads on the live shows would now come up on the left, and they wouldn't cover the whole. They wouldn't take me out of the picture, for example. So you'd still be seeing my ugly mug. I'd still be chatting to you and showing you things and whatnot. And the ads should be somehow on the side. So what they should do is shrink this picture and have the ads on the side. Tell me if you see that. Tell me if that's what's happening, because that's what they told me supposed to happen now. We'll see. At least that's what they promised. You know, best laid plans of mice and men. But that would be great if it does work like that, and it does, sort of start working out like that. Then at least Shane can watch the live shows as well, not just us, because Shane, he gets all the ads. And while Shane's not here, Gavin gets the rest of the ads. So as long as the picture's still on there, I think that's going to be quite a decent ad format in the middle of the show. I think at the beginning of the videos and at the end of the videos, they're still going to show full-on ads. But I think as far as mid-roll ads go, they've changed it to the scene where they just shrink my picture and the ad will be around it, or whatever the case, that's fair. I get that's fair, particularly only for the live shows though, not for the normal videos. It's only for the live shows, because a lot of the guys on the live shows have said, well, your ads are just flattening us out and pushing us out into the pavement while we're busy speaking. And they've taken heed of that, and they've decided to make it a little bit better, which is great. Did I leave the US 500 on the H4? Yeah. Don't like that red candle. Not good for our trade, but what can I do? It's something to do with the tariffs again, I suppose. Usual story. Okay, be careful of correlating something like gold to the DAX there, Sheppel, because I see what you're saying. It's not a permanent thing if something gets correlated like that. If gold is, for example, following the DAX or following the US 500 or going the opposite way or whatever the case, it normally only does it for a short period of time, unless it's something that falls into the same category. Like in Forex, for example, if you're trading on Forex, you'll get a good example of Forex following each other is the Aussie dollar, US dollar, and the New Zealand dollar, US dollar tend to look the same. They tend to follow the same pattern, even though it's the New Zealand dollar and the Aussie dollar. But because they're in the same sort of region and the US dollar is the one thing, then those two tend to follow or be correlated in the same pattern, not against each other. You get the other ones that work against each other, and you can hedge and that sort of thing. But, be careful of getting caught up in that, because sometimes you can get vast movements because of one, like in Forex, for example, one particular country will have some form of disaster or good news or whatever the case, and it will move that currency on its own. And you've been following for years that the two currencies follow each other, and you've based your whole trading principle on the fact that these two currencies follow each other, for example, and then suddenly they split up, and you can't figure out why. And it's often a case, a lot of these trading programs will actually offer you the opportunity, I think this one does as well, to put another layer over so you can see how they run. And I'm not sure how to do it on this one. I haven't done it. But what you get is it follows, and it might be gold in the DAX, or it might be the US 500 and the DAX or whatever, and you see how they follow each other, and then suddenly they split apart. So something happened to cause them to do that split apart, or that crossover, or whatever the case. So don't get married into comparing one to the other. It does tend to knock you off guard. But if you do have two that are pretty much following each other or doing the opposite to each other, then try to find other things to trade, because then you're just wasting your time trading both together, because obviously they're just going to do the same thing, which obviously doesn't help you. So, for example, I won't take a trade on Aussie dollar, US dollar, and New Zealand dollar, US dollar, because it's going to be the same trade. I mean, this is the New Zealand dollar, and it's pretty much, if one fails, they both fail. Or if one does well, they both do well. So what's the point? Just buy the one and put your risk on the one. Don't copy them, or try and have double trades on the same pairs, or on the, like the US 500 and the Dow. There's no point in really having the US 500 and the Dow in the same trade, because they tend to follow the same pattern. Even the Tech 100, but then what you can do with the Tech 100, or the NASDAQ, it tends to run a lot faster, because it's all the tech shares or whatever, or it's a lot more volatile, say, than the Dow or the US 500, but the general pattern will remain pretty similar. It won't change much. It's a bit like cryptocurrencies as well. People get all tied up in these cryptocurrencies, but you might as well only trade the one. You might as well only trade Bitcoin, because if Bitcoin moves, then everything else just kind of moves along the same way. Very seldom that they do different things. So that as well, there's really not much point to trading 10 different types of crypto, because the smaller cryptos are just going to follow Bitcoin, aren't they? Just, it makes sense. So yeah, there as well. That's why you'll see on my side, as far as crypto trades go, I don't like crypto, as you know, but if I was going to trade it, I'll only have Bitcoin on there. There's no point in having anything else on there. I'm wasting my time. Mario, you're welcome to disturb me during the live, but if you want my email, here you go. I'm going to type it in here. It's for everyone. There's the email. Don't expect me to answer it straight away or anything like that. I do have other things on the go, but I do try and answer. And it's actually better for me to answer in a video if I can, because sometimes the answer's just too long. And I don't like sitting here typing. I'm not a big writer. Well, you're never going to see me write a book. If there is a book written by me, then it's probably been audioed, or someone else wrote it for me. But as far as my personal side goes, I'm not a big writer. So I don't like typing out essays for answers, even on the comments. I'd rather give you an answer in a video somewhere if I can, if it's a big answer. If it's a straightforward, quick question, quick answer, that's fine. I'll just drop an email back. But otherwise, I'll just drop an email back telling you I'll answer in a video. Shane is not here. Shame. Little Game of Thrones. Nice, Roger. Like it. Yeah, you can get my email from the homepage. It is there, by the way, but there is as well. You're welcome to use it. And for all those scammers and spammers that ever watch this video and think, "Ooh, I've got his email, I can steal his YouTube." No, the email that I put there doesn't run this YouTube account. So there you go. Okay, so I learned that. Yeah, no, totally. You got to be very careful. That email is pretty cool. Okay, right. Yeah, if people get hold of the email that runs your account, they literally hijack your account or whatever, or scam it or spam it or whatever the case. So you've got to use basically, I learned this, you've got to use basically a secret email to run your account. It's insane. That's the world we live in, eh? That's the world we live in these days. It doesn't get better, does it? Alrighty. So let's have a look at a few of the others. Just by the way, I did call the Aussie dollar, US dollar long today, but I haven't taken it on this account. This account's hasn't done great this week. It is in profit, but yeah, that's just, I got it on my other account. But it's okay. Let's just see how she goes. It is long. It is going reasonably well. Let's have a look at a few of the others and just see what we've got here. Euro US dollar. Euro US dollar is moving to the upside. Nice bounce off the support. There she goes. What's happening with this trend now? You see, like I said to you guys earlier, these lines move. They move around. So now you've got 1, 2, 3 touches. It hasn't hit the trend resistance yet when you think it was. And it's a nice clear bearish trend, but above the support. So it's bounced off the support, seems to be heading on up. Euro US dollar doesn't look too bad. You're shorting gold. Let me just have a look, Roger. Gold. Yes, you see, Roger, like we looked earlier, I took the demand level out and I added in this, what is now a supply level, because it's there, and now it's come back up to take that supply level. It's in a bearish trend. So in all likelihood, a short, but I would normally wait for the red candle, which is probably the next one, which according to my timer on this chart is 30 minutes away. On some charts, it might be on a different time frame, but this one is statement this way. So if you get a red candle coming down, then you can sort of look at that. But yeah, okay. Yeah, ChatGPT. Amazing stuff there. The future, yeah. But the trouble is, what I worked out, Kevin, is if you try artificial intelligence to do things for you, it really doesn't do it perfectly at the moment. I think it's still got a little bit of a way to go. So you still have to correct everything. So it still kind of takes you a bit of time and hassle and whatnot. Whereas I think in the future, it's going to be insane. You just won't see the difference at all. And I think some guys are already there with their AI. They're getting it really close to pretty perfect and pretty good. I myself am a novice with it. So when I try it out, it's still kind of way off. Maybe I don't know what to ask or whatever the case. But yeah, the future is with AI, that's for sure. And it is going to be quite interesting. But then I think, for example, for example, with YouTube now, this is a great example. Real people like myself, although they say we'll be knocked off the bus, at the end of the day, we'll still be there as a more valued sort of a commodity at the end of the day. And you can see some real people. I think AI will be great in the beginning, but I think there'll come a time when human beings want that human interaction again, and AI will just become annoying. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, Euro US dollar is going up. AI is already, they're tipping it to do the trading for you. But at the end of the day, it's going to be programmed by a human being for it to work. So yeah, where are you going to go with that? Some human being's got to put his 50 cents in to make it work. This is the Great British Pound US dollar, also bullish and going up. Euro, Great British Pound. I see the gross domestic product is the same. Okay. Euro, Great British Pound is short. It came off it broke through the support level, went back, retested, and carried on down. But now it's kind of bouncing off this level of money. See, there was a big level of money down here, demand of money. It's bouncing off that, probably go long back up to here, but then back short again. It doesn't have a long way to run up here, so not too concerned about that. Now, do you notice, guys, there's a couple of guys that always ask me, should I only trade with one or two products? You guys often ask me that question. And what I've found is there's no point in trading on one or two different instruments, because if you're trading Forex or you're trading indexes or you're trading commodities, doesn't matter what, the system remains the same. The price action system remains the same. You can draw a couple of lines in and you can see what it's doing, or you can just look at the chart and you can see what it's doing. And the strategy always remains the same. You know what the strategy is, and if you don't, like I said, then you need to watch the videos, because then you haven't watched the videos. So yeah, no, it's pretty straightforward. Ross says ChatGPT is amazing for trading. It describes a lot of important levels and how the probability for different setup. And you guys can use ChatGPT to help them when they describe what the trade looks like and they enter on a technical basis. With ChatGPT, I can meet Monica Belushi. Yeah. Now, I think that's the one thing AI can't do for you. It can't. It can create it for you, but it's gonna be fake. The trouble with AI trading, Roger, is what I find is it has to be programmed by someone. And the odd and insane thing about artificial intelligence you have to get around is it can't see what's happening. It can see all the information that it's been fed. It can see all the information on the charts. It knows exactly what the probabilities are because it's AI. But it can't see Donald Trump stand up and say, "Oh, I changed my mind today. Let me have a sip of my tea and think what I'll do next." AI can't see that, and that can be quite detrimental. What it can do, though, is look after your stop losses. But then manage your risk and run your strategy for you. But then you could end up, with volatility like that, you could end up with a bit of a problem as well. And then it has to be reprogrammed to a wider level. It's much of a muchness whether you trade with AI or you trade yourself. If your psychology is good, the thing that AI will have would be probably a stronger psychology than you've got. It's going to trade you in and out of the trades more frequently. But like I say, AI can't see what's going on. It can't see the reality of the world when somebody stands up, or if something insane happens, like let's say an earthquake takes place right now, and AI is busy trading for you. It'll still be buying into the S&P 500 and saying, we need to buy this. I'm an artificial intelligence. Look at all the information I've got. And while it's buying and putting all the eggs in that basket and throwing all your money at it, there's an earthquake occurring right there in the USA, a big one that's going to cause disastrous economic effects. AI can't see that. And then it crashes and then you get stopped out again. So it's got to manage the trade well. It can do it, but like I say, AI is kind of good, but I think it still needs just a little bit of something, a little bit more. I'm not sure what it is, but it needs something. Yeah, I'm having a bit of fun with ChatGPT and all that. It's actually quite an interesting thing to use, and most of my other programs as well are starting to. Well, they've all for a while now had some AI capability, which is obviously taking off Google. And I don't know if you know, but YouTube's also already quite far advanced with Google on artificial intelligence, creating videos and creating pretty realistic videos, pretty much shorts at the moment. But I mean, it can basically make a video for someone and put it on, and you'd struggle to know the difference. It's quite amazing at the moment what they're getting up to. And then at the moment, if you put a video on YouTube, for example, and it's got some artificial content in it, you're supposed to declare that and tell them, oh, I've got some artificial content in here. But I think they're going to do away with that in the future based on the fact that they're actually creating it. At the end of the day, it's, Google and YouTube are one thing. So they're probably, if they're creating it, they're going to want to just allow it to move on to the channel, and it'll probably start taking over quite a bit in certain areas. Yeah, it's quite an insane thing. US dollar, Canadian dollar back up into the resistance was a support, broke through, went back up to retest, going down. Do you know the retest procedure? Very easy. If you get a breakout or a breakthrough, whether it be a trend line or whether it be a support, and it breaks through and you get that big red candle, in all likelihood, and I don't play by this quite often because I'm very much one to just take the trade. But what you're supposed to do is wait for it to come back and do what they call a retest. In other words, it goes back up to that level, retests it to see if it's a good level, and then goes back in the same direction. So if you're working on the break and retest idea, then effectively this is a short trade because it's come through, broke through, gone back, retested, coming down again. Should be a short trade. That said, that's on that level, but there is another big support that I drew down here, which will actually just crash straight through. So it could be coming back to retest that and go up again. So many different variables in the stock market. Rob, TDS is getting out of control. Okay, so US dollar, Japanese yen. Okay, so the US dollar, Japanese yen, we did call this long, and now it's gone up to this level here. Grab this money again. This is very much becoming a major resistance now on the 4 hour because your daily resistance is up here. And this is quite insane because it's gone up and it's grabbed this and it's coming back down again. It looks like this is becoming quite a strong level. So is this becoming a range? Looks like it. Looks like this is becoming a range. So this could become quite an interesting range. It could just be doing this, ranging. Look at that. Could just be doing the range thing. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, okay. Nothing strange about that. Okay, Roger asks, Rob, what do you think about trading 2 to 3 prop accounts and managing the risk between them, taking separated trades that way to risk to lose the account? On one losing streak, it's really low. It's an interesting concept. Interesting concept. I haven't actually thought about it. You're basically hedging. I actually haven't thought about that. That's a good point. Come to think of it. So what you're saying is if I go long on the one prop account and I go short on the other one, the opposite way. I think where you're going to fall short is they're not always going to work out. So because the market's 50-50, you've got this scenario, and I understand what you're saying, but you've got this scenario of, let's say you decide today that this US dollar Japanese yen is short. So you take a short on this platform and you take a long on the other platform. One of the platforms is going to work out on that one trade. And then on the next trade, you have a similar trade and you take the short on the one and the long on the other one. And then this one works out. And then the other one fails. So you kind of, the two accounts are gonna float. It's because the market's 50-50, you never really know. It's kind of, much of a muchness. I get what you're saying, but you never really know which way a trade's going to go. So no matter what you do, unless you only have the one trade and you put everything on it, then you might have a bit of a balance. In other words, you just bet everything on that trade going that way. That could work. But if you have a number of trades over time, then you're just going to be back to square one, because it doesn't matter. One's going to go this way, one's going to go that way. You're going to have 5 wins and 5 losses no matter what, or vice versa. So unless you put it all on one, it's like taking everything, put everything on red, and put everything on black over here, then you might have a chance. But if you're taking a number of trades, smaller trades, then no, it won't work. Just my thought. Okay. But I like the idea, but they've probably thought of it long before we did when they invented that system. I'm pretty sure the owners of these prop firms have sat there and gone, what if they do that? Okay, yeah, Roger. Okay, sorry, I'm not getting the idea there. So you mean you don't mean hedging? You mean like buy gold, sell cruise oil in different accounts, so you play the two setups, and then the risk is lower on the account. Yeah. If you want to lower the risk on the account, yeah, you can do that. It's just going to take you longer to make a profit on the one account, but yeah, totally. You can do that because if you want to have 10 trades, for example, and you want to have a lot of trades and higher amounts, then you can say, all right, I'm going to take 2 trades per platform or 3 trades per platform maximum, but then I can have 9 trades and an overall picture. Yeah, of course, that would work. Yeah, why not? So US dollar, Japanese yen going down. Gold. Yeah, we talked about gold just now, didn't we? Yeah, I get it, Roger. You don't want to you don't want to hedge the same pair or instrument. Got it. I was just thinking, what a great idea, hedge the same pair or instrument against each other, but they probably thought about that and you're not going to get away with it. And if you take a number, then yeah. But yeah, your idea of having a number of trades on different platforms so that you can have more trades. Yes, that works. Why not? That can do the trick, most definitely. Okay, so we're going through the trades here. So gold is probably, in all likelihood, going to find resistance at this level, probably continue on its short level, and if it does that, then the US 500 DAX and all that's probably going to turn around and go long. At least hopefully, because the US 500 at the moment is doing the old, oh, I think I'll come back and give you a headache moment. But let's do this and just put it on the short term. I just want to see what we've got here. And yeah, it looks all right. It looks all right. Still bullish. Still bullish. And yeah, levels are quite far down. Yeah, it looks fine. Looks fine. US 500 is long. It's okay. Still long. The DAX, where is it? Mario. Is it coming back to the equilibrium area? It is. It is. But you see what you've got here? Like I drew in earlier, you've got this trend resistance holding it up. That said, you've got this major support on the 4 hour holding it up in exactly the same support. So for it to come all the way back down to here again, will it, won't it? It's a real 50-50 on the DAX. I think it's going to hit this area here and go back long again. It's pretty much. Now here's a thing where you look at other trades, and what Seppo earlier on said, I see the DAX and the gold is trading in correlation, but against each other. And I see what he's saying, and like I said, don't get caught up in that and don't just rely on that. But he has a good point. And if you look at gold, we just looked at it now, it's heading up to this resistance. And if you look at the Germany 30, it's heading down to this support. And they're both going to hit at pretty similar times. And there's a major support on the DAX. That tells me the DAX is going to turn around and go long, and gold is going to turn around and probably come back short again. Now, gold is also going into this supply of money, which is correlating nicely with this trend resistance. You know, the confluence here is insane. So if it hits that and comes down, then you've probably, in all likelihood, got the Germany 30 doing the opposite. So yeah, it's going to come down into this level here and then head on back up. US 500, similar scenario. It's going to come down, hit this trend support, and then go back up again. That's as simple as it gets. Don't overcomplicate things. Don't get too complicated. Keep it simple. Keep it as easy and simple as you possibly can. I'll just, as you can see, a hidden channel, but don't overcomplicate it, like I say. You know, if you that is pretty much it. There's not much to go on there. Really, it's pretty much it. Keep it simple. Keep it straightforward. Don't go too insane with it. And like I say, there's this one here that I've drawn in at 23,880. Very much a 4 hour one. And then there's this one here, which is also a 4 hour one, which is 23329. If I take this DAX up to the day chart and I want to put proper support and resistance in, I can. Oh, there. Okay. Here, I don't even want to use the rectangles because they're just going to get in the way, because there is your line right there, your line in the sand, and there's your shorter line in the sand. So I'm not even going to draw the blockies in here. It's just going to get in your way. Leave it like that. That's a fair trade. You can see what's going on. Let's not change that too much. US 500, US 30, Dow. Pretty much the same as the US 500. It's not going to change much, is it? It's pretty much the same. The DAX we've looked at now. The DAX, previously I drew these blockies in, and that's pretty much the line that I've got drawn in on the other one. But the line is much more, just more accurate on this. That's a channel that it could come down to, but there is a channel right up here, like I said, and you take that there and you draw that line in there, and suddenly everything changes. So watch out for getting caught out by that. Brent crude oil is driving me insane because it just won't go up. Let's go now. But okay, it'll go eventually, hopefully. It just doesn't want to go. There's a level. Still bullish. We'll hold it. Hi, Philip. Good to see you again. And Kevin says, I feel Rogers will like hidden channels help me escape from the trend line breaks. That don't work out because there's a hidden channel support waiting there until I hit myself on the head. That's when you stand up, Rog, and normally you hit your head on the resistance because it's too low. You know, that the support, you probably break your ankles and comes up and gets you. Reminds me of those movies where the walls close in on you, you know, the support resistance closes in on you. The further out it is, actually, the better. Okay, this is the FTSE. You know, the FTSE, I always used to trade it in a range because it was in a range like forever. And once again, it's pretty much in a range again, if you look at it. It never really changes. The FTSE is always in a range. And you know what is scary about the FTSE, in all fairness, is when it hits that top level, that resistance where you bump your head, the scary thing about it is it's hit that. And all these indexes tend to follow each other around. So if that now decides to fall, then everything's going to fall, isn't it? So yeah, keep an eye on that. JAP 225, all the way up there. But this, once again, this did break through. Now it's moved again. It's moved down a bit. So still bullish. Okay. Aussie dollar, US dollar we had a look at. That one is long. Euro, Japanese yen. Pretty much in the middle of nowhere. But it is closer to the resistance than it is to the support. So this isn't a range. Look at this. It's in such a range. I mean, you can actually narrow the range down into this level here. But yeah, it's pretty much in a range. And it's added itself in another level here. It's just sitting in a range. Euro, JPY. Come on. Oh, that is it. Great British Pound, JPY. Bullish, still going up. NASDAQ, same as the S&P 500. Why would it be different? It's the NASDAQ effectively controls the US 500 because it's got so much weighting in there. So it's going to look pretty similar to the US 500, but the NASDAQ is going to move a little bit faster and a little bit stronger. This is what I wanted to get down to, is this Bitcoin. I just wanted to see what it looks like at the moment. And in all reality, it's just bullish. It's just sitting along this trend. It hasn't broken to the downside yet. It's staying on the long side of things and not going anywhere. That one we can delete. We don't need that. That's just a supply of money. That's just sort of areas of reality. Yeah, it's just on a trend going up. Interesting. I'll put this back on the... This shows the Aussie dollar, US dollar we had. Yeah, Aussie dollar, US dollar. That's it. That's where we want to leave it. See what the trade does. Guys, for today's draw, which we will be having soon, let me go and show you again which video it is so that you know which video we're going to pick or which video we've picked. Okay, I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to go and show you which video we've picked for the day. So the video we're going to draw on, we're going to use this YouTube random comment picker. Again, it's about the third or the fourth draw, I think. And we're going to use master trend lines in 20 minutes. Very basic video I made the other day. It's got some nice comments on it. So hopefully you guys are gonna have a win. I don't know if anybody's added any comments to it, but there you go. Whoever's got a comment on there stands a chance to do the random comment picker, and somebody's gonna win the 2-step 10K challenge account from these guys, Fund Your FX, the funding you need to succeed. Proudly given to us by them. And well, let's see how we go, guys. Let's see if you get anything. If anybody wants one of these accounts, they got instant accounts and that sort of thing. I left a link in the description. It is an affiliate link, but you know, why not? You can grab one there and you can go and get your own account. The other one, the one we're actually trading on at the moment is, it's not Fund Your FX, that's the one we're going to give the account away with. Under Trader Markets, I think it is. Somebody said that they're not so hot. The thing with funded accounts, guys, is you've got to understand that funded accounts are a funny old thing, eh? For a long time, right up until the beginning of this year, I had no confidence in a prop firm or a funded account. As far as I was concerned, every single one of them was bad news, and you should only have a cash account. And I had my reasons for it, my calculations and everything, and who knows, one day I might even go back to that. But this year I had so many people ask me if they can make money in the markets, and I had so many people that just didn't really have the cash to get involved in the markets, which I get it. I mean, that's how it is, because you know, when you in something like this for as long as I've been, and you know, you're just gonna show other people how to do it. The expectation from my psychology is that everybody's just going to have loads of money falling out the sky and they can just invest it and make money. But then the reality hit home that 90% of you guys don't have that money just lying around in the bank account. And most of you can't afford to put a large sum of money into a brokerage account and make money. And a lot of you guys were on the YouTube platform looking for a solution. And the solution was, how can I turn $1,000 into $1 million? And so many guys believed the guys that told them that they can. And then you lose the $1,000, and what do you do then? So this brought me to the realization that, okay, hang on. You need capital to make money. You also need a learning curve, because if you do have $100,000 and you want to invest it, and then you go and put it all in the market and then you lose it, then what do you have then? Leaves you with a bit of a quandary, a bit of a problem. And the big problem I found was too many guys go on a course, and the course tells them they're going to win every single trade. And they spend half the money they've got on the course in the first place, and then they come back believing that they're going to win every single trade and everything's just going to be hunky-dory. And of course, while you were on the course, you won every single trade. I'm not sure if it's because they coached you in the right direction to win every single trade, or if it was because it was a demo. But either way, you come back rather confident. Get into the markets with your real money, leveraged accounts, and they haven't really taught you how to trade. They've really taught you all about market terminology and squiggly lines and calculations and AI and maths and all that sort of stuff. And you think, well, I can't lose. You know, they've given me this course and this system, and they've told me this system is infallible, and you start trading it and you start losing. and you start wondering why. And this is where I picked up on. I picked up on the fact that most of them don't tell you that you need experience, that you need a lot of experience, and you need to get a feel for the markets, and you also have to be comfortable with losing. You have to be comfortable with the losses as much as the wins. So then I warmed up to the prop firm idea, that the funded account idea. While I know that there has been a lot of controversy in the market surrounding all of these guys, I looked at it from a perspective of, look, if you can get a funded account and there's something real to it. So in other words, you're paying for the account and you want to make the account pay you back. So if it's an instant account, immediately pay you back. If it's a challenge account, you want to pass the challenge and then get a real account that's going to pay you money. They pay you 80%, sometimes 90% of the money back. Now you've got something to work towards and something real. And your psychology understands that. So it understands that you're trading for real. You're not just, it's not just a demo. You've got something invested in it. That gives you a little bit of a head start, as well as the fact that you're practicing. And if you make a mistake, which you will, and you lose a huge sum, they close your account down, you're all upset, and you're like, oh man, no, I lost that account. These accounts are only a couple of $100 or $100 or whatever the case. And you can open another one. And you've only lost $100. Nobody thinks of it that way. You see, if you put even $10,000 in an account, you lose that $10,000. You've lost $10,000 if you're a beginner. But if you buy yourself a funded account from someone and it costs you $100 or $200 or whatever it is, and you lose that's all you've lost, nothing else. Well, and your only view was to get that account qualified to make you money. And if you become profitable, then they start paying you your share. Look, it's not immediate. You do have to make a certain level of money before they start paying you out. But at least you're working towards something, and in that time you're learning. So I would say, at least for your first 2 or 3 years, even if you do have $100,000, get yourself some funded accounts and firstly find out if this is for you. Does this work for you? Can you make money out of it? Because you'll find out really quickly if you can or not. And also work out for yourself if this is something that is going to be profitable. Are you going to be able to make enough profit to survive on it over time? If this is the only thing that you're going to do. That's what they're good for. I don't say that funded accounts and prop firms are great. I never have. All I say is they're a very useful tool to you guys that are particularly starting out and or just need something to practice on, because demo accounts are no good. They're just no good because there's just no risk for you whatsoever. So you don't feel the risk, so you just take trades. You need something that provides that risk for you. So now you've got the risk of either losing your account or losing that profit that you're making with them, that you're building towards, so that you can make a withdrawal and get some cash in your bank account. And at least you'll be trading on a larger sum of money. Now, a lot of people say, for example, on a $100,000 account, on a $100,000 funded account, now you've got a 7% drawdown. So they say you can only lose $7,000. So what a lot of traders will tell you as well, you can only trade your risk based on that $7,000. That's not so. Effectively, you trade your risk on the $100,000 because that's your cover, with a view to you can only lose $7,000 before you lose the account. So what's your risk based on that? So you could say, I only want to trade 0.5%, which is $500 per trade. That way I can take at least 14 trades and lose before I lose the account. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, that's the way I look at it at the moment from that perspective. That's my perspective at the moment. I'm not saying that you must go out there and trust all these prop firms or anything like that. I'm not saying that. all I'm saying is that if you can get the ability to take a trade and learn how to trade and get a couple of years in and make some profit with it through a funded situation, why not? You know? And then when you're really comfortable and you're quite sure that you know what you're doing and you've got this taped, then you can open your cash account, put all your cash in there, put your $100,000, $200,000, $1 million in there, and start trading with it with the knowledge that you know what you're doing. It's because, you know, everybody thinks that they know what they're doing before they get started. It's amazing how people get into trading and they think that within a week or 2 weeks, you're going to be this insanely great trader who's never going to lose a trade. You're going to have a win rate to die for. And you know how I feel about win rates. Win rates don't make you money. And then they find out very quickly that that doesn't work, that that's probably the most insane thing to even think of, is that you're going to get into the markets and just immediately start making money. You might as well go down the casino and just choose red or black. You'll have just as much luck. Okay, so that was my heart-to-heart chat with you guys today. I suppose I should do the draw now. Okay, so I'm glad that you're all here and ready for that. And we are going to have the draw now. Hidden channels help me escape from trendline breaks. Okay, Rob, quick question. I would love to join with more, so which I would best subscription to join properly? How would you like to see extensive videos and learn more? What I always tell people is my channel is completely free. I don't sell a course. I don't sell anything like that. If you watch all my videos, you're going to learn a lot. What I do have is a members area with YouTube. The YouTube controls that, not me. I don't have a specific course or anything like that. That's YouTube, okay? And what I put on there is a trade of the day every day and a few other things, and whatever, you know, information I can give extra, I give to those guys, because it's a support for the channel, right? So if you join the members area, it's effectively like almost like a donation to the channel, so that we can, you know, give it what it needs, whatever, you know, tools that it needs and that sort of thing. Believe me, guys, it's not groundbreaking money or anything like that, but it does help the channel, and it's good for the channel, so that I don't have to pay for things out of my pocket, and I can give you guys all of this free information. So this is why I do it for free in the first place. But if I don't have to pay for it out of my pocket, it's great. You know, it really does help. And then I can, you know, enjoy it a little bit more as well, because I'm doing it for free. It's like me getting it for free as well. So, and if there's any extra, great. I can go and buy a beer with it, thanks to you guys. At the end of the day, the members area is there for that. And then you get the extra stuff if you join as a member. But if you join as a member, I would say at least join with a level higher than trade of the day. This trade of the day gets you the video every day, because it doesn't help you get my list of trades on the normal one, and then you don't really know the context of it. Whereas the video, I give more context, like I do here on the live show, as to why, what, how, and how we're trading and why we're trading. And then I do have the very high levels of personal contact and that sort of thing. But I keep those at a higher price point, for the simple reason that I don't want to be over inundated with people contacting me on a regular basis when I'm trying to sit and watch the Formula One Grand Prix or something. So I keep that at a high price point, because it's exclusive. So it's not actually to even try and make some money out of it. It's just to keep it exclusive. Just a quick explanation of all that. But no, I don't have otherwise any special courses or anything to sell you guys. Everything you get here, it's all for you. It's on the house, and I support the channel with its monetization and its membership, and that's it. The channel doesn't make a fortune. It makes a few $100s a month, and it's not massive, okay? But it'll buy a camera, it'll buy this, it'll buy that, and, you know, microphone or whatever. And I don't have to pay for it. Okay, so just so you know, that's how it works. All right, and the reason the membership is there. I mean, it's available. YouTube's got it on every channel. Is at the end of the day, it's a lot of work that goes into it. So there's a little bit of exclusivity, and it's worth it for everyone. Great. So let's have the draw then. That was the answer for Philip, by the way. Philip did ask, how can I get more into it and join and what have you and get more information. Right. Okay. The last thing I would want anybody to think is that I'm trying to like scam them out of their money or anything to that effect. Or sell you a course or anything like that. No, I'm not trying to do that. I can't be bothered doing that. If I did put a course together, if I took the time, which I really don't have the time, I don't think, but if I took the time to put a course together, I would in all likelihood probably just give it away for free. So, but I don't even want to go down that road. I like having the YouTube channel and it's a bit of fun. And these live shows are a bit of fun as well. And you're all welcome to answer questions. And now what I'm starting to do now, guys, is if you leave a comment on one of the videos with a question, and the question's relevant, I'll try and make you a little video. I'll try and do it, say, every Wednesday, make a little video which goes out with answers to the questions. And if there's more than one question, I'll do one or two in the same video, all right? And just answer that question for you in a video that you can sit and watch, and it gives you the depth. Because what I find is if I write an answer, or I give you a one-word answer, or whatever the question, you don't get it's just like the trade of the day. You don't get that depth of information. Whereas if I'm talking to you, you get that depth of information that you in all likelihood need to make the trade. So if you want to leave a question, you are more than welcome to leave the question in the comments. I can get to it. I'll try and read every single comment. I very seldom miss a comment. So while I still can, while the channel is not 100,000 subs strong and doesn't have millions and millions of viewers, I can still do that. If it gets to that point, I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll figure something out when we get there. But as we are at the moment, I can still actually read every comment. I can still go through everything for you guys. And I can still try and make a video with the answers to those questions for you. And if that will help you guys, then great. Those videos are not going to get millions of views. I saw that now on the last one. I mean, it's like maybe 100 views or whatever. But it's there to answer a question, and that's what it's for. So if you want to do that, fine. If you send me an email, I'll probably do something similar and try and answer it in a video, whatever the case. There you go, Kevin. So it's working. And that's what I wanted to know, is if it's working. That's great, because I can't see that from my side, obviously. I don't know. The ads are in the control of the bosses at YouTube, so I can't control that. But they did tell us that on the live shows, they won't cover the whole screen. They'll make my blocky a little bit smaller, and they'll put an ad on the side. So that, at least that, actually, that's quite good. I think that's great. Creators spoke and YouTube listened, and they've made a plan. That's great. That's absolutely great. Okay, so you still can't hear me. Doesn't help much, does it? Okay, but at least something. All right, great. So I'm still there. You still have to watch the advert and go and buy what was the advert last time? Was it, I don't know, something completely irrelevant to trading or finance? So, yeah, I remember. And buy a car or something. Yeah, that's brilliant. Okay, guys, let's do a draw, and let's see who wins this week's two-step 10K challenge account. It's fun time. So let me take this over to there, and then we're going to go and have a wee look. Who's going to win this week's Fund Your FX? The funding you need to succeed. Log in. Yeah, right. Okay. The fast track May 30% off win 10K challenge account. Okay. Right. These are people boasting about their payouts. Yeah. Real flexibility for long-term trading goals. Okay. Oh, this one, by the way, I've got MetaTrader 5, and I don't connect it to this because I don't want it to interfere with my cash account and my cash accounts on my MetaTrader 5. So, but if you have a MetaTrader 5 and you don't have a cash account on something, you can connect it up to this trading platform. Resources for success, stuff going on there. Here's the price of the accounts. What is this? Oh, the instant funding. Okay, instant funding. I've got a $100,000 instant account. Yeah, that's where I got the 7% from. But yeah, I got that one. Yeah, that's great. But yeah, starter account $10,000, 266, 637, 1288. Different prices for instant funding. If you want a two-step account, which is the $10,000 account, it's $62. It's not that expensive, and that's the one you're kind of winning. So you could buy one as well. All right, guys. Select your plan, secure sport, start trading, get paid out. Spreads, commissions, trading platform partnered with regulated broker. Trading view, you do get trading view on there. It's not the full trading view package, but it works. Okay. Okay. So this is what you're going to get. All right, cool. Okay, let's have the draw, and let's see who wins it. Mario. There's so many commercials that it seems like the Super Bowl final was live. I hope there's lots of commercials. Maybe it'll send me some dosh for a change. Who gets all that money? Goodness me. Okay, right. YouTube. Copy. Paste the comment in. And we're going to see who's going to win this challenge this week. And should be fun. There's not a lot of people here, but I guess the people that are meant to be here are here. So I'm saying anything goes. So I'm putting an anything goes in here. Now remember the rules, guys. If there's a cynical comment or there's a bot comment, we're going to have a redraw, because there ain't no way I'm going to give the challenge to something like that. Okay, so it's going to have to go to a real person, a real member, a real a person who's commenting positively as well, not someone who's swearing at me. Okay, so let's go. Continue. Please wait while we load and pick a winner. Let's pick a winner. Brett Sawyer, 6556. I wonder if Brett's here. Brett Sawyer. YouTube, master trend lines, Brett Sawyer. If you are here, let me know. Would be great to see. Boom, 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 boom. Kokoro, is that your channel? Okay. Let's see the comment there. This is the channel winner. I don't know if this person is on the channel at the moment. I'm just going to have a look. I'm just going to have a look over here and just see if I can figure this out for a second, because there's, of course, let's. I'm just going to put this back on to the charts. And now my phone rings as well. That just helps a lot. I'm just going to leave that. And so Brett Sawyer is the winner, but now I can't find him. So just give me a second. I have to make sure that Brett's a real person. That's important. And then we can take it from there. Shouldn't be too difficult. Should be able to sort that out quite quickly. Aha, there's Brett. Haha, you are here. Welcome. Okay, now that's great. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I was looking for you. Great. Now I was trying to do that now. I was trying to go in and refresh the page and whatnot. Okay, great. So that's fantastic. You've won. Congratulations, Brett. Well done. That's brilliant. Okay, I'm just going to give you the instructions on what to do. And then you can email me with the details. And what will happen is the guys will contact you. Let me just take this over to the chart. So the guys will contact you and give you your prize, which is brilliant. Corey will contact you from them. And there we go. I'm going to just put this in the chat. There you go. I'm just copying this over. This is for Brett, guys. Okay. Just right. Send me those details in the email and we'll get you your account. Well done. Congrats. Have fun with it. Have a bit of, I mean, Brett, I don't know how experienced you are. Don't know how good you are, how long you've been trading. But it's always a bit of fun and it gives you that extra and it gives you that something to work towards as well, because obviously if you do well with your account, then you get through and then you get the real account, you get the profit share, which is great. And it's a profit share of whatever you make on that $10,000. Watch out for the drawdowns and things like that. And trade with us and have a bit of fun. You know, it's not that bad. It's great. And congrats. It normally takes because Corey's in a different time zone to me, so I'm going to let him know, give him your details. So you're going to get me the details and I'm going to give it to them. And then they're going to work on it. It's going to take them about 24 hours and they'll get their account to you. There you go. And the wee certificate. Oh, great stuff. Good show. Just email me anytime. I'll get the email and then I'll sort it out for you. And then they'll make contact with you. Good stuff, lad. Good stuff. Have fun. And yeah, not quite a millionaire yet. I don't know if like 10K will make you a millionaire quickly, but yeah, you got a chance. Better chance than the guy with $100. Yeah, you gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. That's good. Okay, good. So anyone who wants to know the rules of that, they are in the description, always in the description there for you. And you can check them out. That's for sure. Let me just go back over here. Okay, that's perfect. I actually did want to refresh this page earlier on. And then we'll see. Yep, everyone's here. Okay, good stuff. Great. Yeah, all the comments came in now. You see, there they go. And sorry to you guys that didn't get it this time. Didn't get it next time. I don't know how long we're going to go on for because I have to keep convincing these guys to stay on board. So, you know, hopefully they'll stay on board and we'll keep getting free accounts. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Righto. Okay. We'll all become millionaires. We'll all get rich and be off. And yeah, that's great. Have you ever worked out how much you've spent in your life? I mean, geez, the amount of millions that you've spent and on things, and if you just kept all that money in your pocket, you would have had a fortune. But all the extra that I get, I normally just stick into the investments and leave it there. Guess my kids will be really happy one day. How do you choose the right resistance area? Yeah, I did that. I did give that question out. So like I said, guys, every week I'm going to make a video with an answer on a couple of comments. So if you've got questions, feel free to drop them in a comment, drop them on an email, and I'll do my best to get the answers out. And like I say, if I can get them out in a video, I will, because it helps everyone else as well, everyone else out there, and everybody gets a little bit of information, and everybody gets to enjoy the questions. So it's good for everyone to get the information as well. And there goes the US 500 heading back up to the upside again, green bar. So that means that Brent should, in all likelihood, do the same. Hopefully, come on, stop going down, man. Even after all these years, I started trading BCE. BC. And you still don't like it when trade goes against you. It's still irritating. You're still like, come on, go the right way. But that's what the game's about, Who likes losing? If you're a racing driver or football player, you don't want to lose every game. It's just your profession. You want to win. That's how it goes. It's actually it's been a right session, but hey, Kevin, where's Shane today? No Shane today. He probably got tired of all the adverts, or he's dumped us and he's gone off to watch one of the other guys that do the 5-minute charts. Yeah, that's it. He'll watch this later and he'll be like, no, I was just sleeping. Yeah, out on the road, doing something. Yeah. I didn't bring enough coffee for this session. The coffee's finished. Oh, no, it's still a drop in there. Not bad, not bad. So gold, who went short gold? One of you guys went short on gold. Candle's going green. Nasty old candle that. It's going green. I must say I'm picturing a short here. It might actually go all the way up to this trend resistance before it goes short. But it is in the money. It's in the liquidity. And it's probably in all likelihood going to start falling. So don't sell your short unless it gets above that line there. So I hope your stop loss is above that line. Make sure your stop loss is above there, not in here. In here, the trade is still valid. Remember what I always say to you guys, make sure that your stop loss is in an area where the trade is out, not valid anymore. And then you can make some money out of it. Yeah. Watching the Lambo guys. Yeah, he's out watching the Lambo guys. Trying to make some extra dosh. Watching the guys with the Lambos. Why is it always Lambos? Not Ferraris. It's always Lambos. It's always these Lamborghinis and doors up and all this. Maybe they just look more flashy. I don't know. You know what the guys do? They actually, I found out. I had to look into it. The guys actually rent a house and they rent a car and they rent all this equipment and stuff to film these videos to make themselves look like that, to do these skits. That's insane. Why? Why would you do that? Yeah. And then there's the others that just show winning trades. Every single trade you win. Or I made so much money in 5 minutes. Yeah, if I take a trade now, if I trade this gold and it goes in my direction in the next 5 minutes and it makes me a few $100 because I risked $10,000, then yeah, I can show that. I can show it on my phone. I can show it anywhere because, what about the one that lost in 5 minutes or the one that, they don't show you those. There's some insane stuff out there. Really is. But like I say, you can learn something from everyone, eh? Every system works and you can learn something from everyone. So keep that in mind. It can be quite useful to you to get some information off some of these guys because some of the information is pretty good. Some of it's pretty bog standard, like what I do, and I see a lot of it pretty much mirrors what I do. But there are some things that they might do differently that might help you or might get you in the right direction. So, yeah. Oh yeah, don't drop your questions on Discord anymore. I've given up on it. I'm tired of it because the guys keep trying to imitate me and sell you stuff. Just drop your questions in the comments or the email, and I'll try and sort it out for you. I wonder if gold. No, gold is definitely going down. There's no two ways about it. So this is why you need risk management done properly. Do risk management correctly, and your trades will go well. And that is just put your stop loss in a proper area, put it in an invalidation area, and then work out your cost back to the trade. So if you were going to trade gold right now, what you would do is you'd say, I want to have a sell on gold. I'm not going to do it because it's not ready yet, but it might be soon. But let's say you wanted to sell gold. Just, you can't do this on MetaTrader, by the way. MetaTrader, you need to download off MQL5 some program to do this. But on MetaTrader, I kind of understand what my trade sizes are, and it's a cash account, so it's fine. But this, on these accounts, what you can do is you can just tell it, I want to put my stop loss in, and I know that I want to lose $250 maximum. And I can say I want my stop loss at 33.50, which is above that level. Maybe even above that high. It's about 33.50. I'm just going to use that as an example. And you just put it in here. My stop loss is 33.50. And that would give me a loss of 124. So I want a loss of 250, 0.06, 0.07 lots. 220, 0.08 is 250, 240. Okay. Now you know the size of your trade. You've worked out the size of your trade simply by adding your stop loss in there and by working out how many lots you can buy. You saw how easy that was. I just sort of kind of looked at it and just added a number. Then you got your size there. Okay. Well, that's moving fast because it's going around. But all right. You put your stop loss in there. You know it's about 250. It doesn't have to be exact. Just kind of about. So you've got that about figure of loss that you want to take on a sell on gold, right? Then you just want to work out if its risk to reward is worth it. So your reward would be where? 32.40, maybe 32.20. 32.20 seems fair. Just put 32.20 in there and just see if that would be a good reward. Wow, it really would, actually. It would be $795. So in other words, you would make $795 if it got to this level. And you would lose $240 if it got to that level. So that's a pretty good trade. And then you place the order, you take the trade. If it goes in your favor, you make an absolute fortune. If it goes against you, guess what? You lose $250 again. You can lose 10 of those and you've lost 10% of your account. Think about that. That's why we run on the 1% basis. So that's how you work out your trade. That's as simple as it gets to working out your trade and working out how much you can buy or where your buy should be. The reason I'm not selling this right now in this area is because that candle is very green. It's insanely green at the moment. And I want it to be red. I want it to be a red candle. And I want it to be a red candle that's kind of closed. And then I know it's a good sell. Okay. I have a gut feeling with my years of BCE experience that it's going to go to the resistance and then come down. Maybe to the top of this level and come down. Or it's going to break through and go flying up to the upside, which will be another type of trade. Okay, so let me just check here. Right. Later. That. Close that. That. There we go. Just Got other accounts to worry about as well. Yep. There we go. So it's been an interesting May. And now you guys will know that May has always been the scenario of sell in May and go away. Well, I'm hoping that's not really the case today because, yeah, we are long on the US 500. We are long on the S&P. And we're long on Brent as well. So I'm hoping the sell in May and go away doesn't really play out now. But it's been a rather straightforward month if I look at the US 500. It hasn't really gone insane, and we haven't had a massive correction. Look, the May, let's go back in May. Most of May, it's kind of gone up. And then we've had this slight correction here, which would have scared a few people. And people would have thought, sell in May and go away is here, and it would have gone down. But then it's kind of just trickled back up again to these levels here at the 6,000. It kind of tells me that sell in May and go away hasn't happened. I hope it doesn't happen right now because this is pretty close to the support. But, you know, kind of if it breaks through the support, your trade's kind of gone. And you have to deal with it. So let's hope that doesn't really happen. It's an old adage that we've had. There's been 1 or 2 years where sell in May and go away hasn't played out. And this seems to be one of those years. I've still got a lot of confidence that although Donald Trump has had a lot of say and he's really been indecisive in what he's been doing and the markets have been jumping around with what he says, I've still got a lot of confidence that the markets will finish on 6,600 this year or maybe 7,000. I'm quite confident the US 500 is going to go strong unless something incredible happens. If something goes wrong in the world or whatever the case, I think under normal circumstances, everything as it is, I think the markets will go up. I really do. I don't know how you guys feel, but that's the way I feel about it. I think the markets will in all likelihood end up going straight up over time, over the rest of this year, giving us a good run. Let's see. We'll see how we go. Gold, I don't think it'll keep going up. I really don't. I think gold is also going to kind of drop off or stay in this area, kind of live around this area quite a long time. Look, in all likelihood, if the S&P goes up, gold will probably settle down here in the 3,000 levels, maybe the late 2000s, and just finish off the year there. So gold, in all likelihood, I don't see it, like some people called it going to 7,000 and all these kinds of things. I don't see it doing that. I see it rather finishing closer to the 3,000 level for the year. It's a commodity. It's cyclical. It'll go up. It'll go down. And in all likelihood, it'll probably go down a little bit before it goes up. At the moment, Brent, as I say, the disadvantage for me is I've been looking at Brent for years, and I know that Brent at $65 is really cheap supermarket mentality. So for me, it has to go up, and that's why I stay long in it. I'm waiting for that one to work in my favor. This Aussie dollar, US dollar trade, I said it would go long, and we're getting a bit of a red candle here now, but this has got a lot to do with the way the markets are turning at the moment. So, you know, with the opening of markets, you kind of tend to get this, it moves one way and then it shoots the other way. It's a sweep. And so, yeah, you might get this bit of a downside here. Let's just drop the time frames a bit. You're going to get this downswing, and then it might sweep and go back up the other way. So there's quite a lot of red candles there. That's the hourly. Very, very, very short, which is not good for business. But as long as it stays above that trend line, we should be okay. That tail worries me, that big tail. If it closes there tonight, that's not great, but we'll see how that goes. The weekly is still bullish, man. Still a bullish candle on the weekly, and it is a higher high. So we go with bullish. We stay with bullish. We're not gonna jump ship. We're gonna hold on and sink with the ship like the captains do. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you what's going to happen next. I can only see what's in front of me. And what I'm seeing in front of me at the moment is some nasty red candles. I probably should have taken note of that silly candle there, which is kind of a change in direction. But anyway, I don't just trade with candles. I don't actually use candles for much other than just if I see a big green candle, it means it's big green. If I see a big red candle, it means it's big red. If I see tails, I know that there's money coming and going, sellers coming and going. I can see the undecided candles, all the rest of it, and a few candle patterns, engulfing patterns and things like that. But other than that, I don't use them for much more than that. So I don't look out for these little candles all the time and stuff. If I spot it, it'll worry me, but yeah. There's a bit of a fallover, but I think it hasn't even completed the whole candle. It's inside. So yeah, it'll go back up. It'll be fine, most likely. Okay, so that was quite a day. Kevin, are you long on gold? Eesh. Oh, no. Be careful, Kevin. It's gone up into this area. It's looking to take the money and come down, and it's probably going to hit that resistance. And then this is all probably going to happen when I'm sleeping tonight. And if that's the case, the same thing is going to happen to you, Kevin, because you're pretty much an hour out on my time. So just watch out for it. Just keep an eye on it. I got a feeling it's going to hit and head in the other direction and start coming down, which it normally does. Okie dokie. So tell you what, guys, I'm going to head on my way. A lot of people have already gone and moved on and left and done their thing. So yeah, I'm going to head on. I'm going to go and enjoy a lovely dinner with the family and relax and feed the dogs and all the rest of it. And you guys can carry on trading. I'm kind of almost done for the day. I'm not going to. I'll have my phone with me, but I'll keep an eye on that gold. Maybe we'll buy some gold or sell some gold. We'll see. We'll see if that candle finishes off red. But other than that, guys, I'm going to head on now. I'm going to be on my way. And I hope Brett, congratulations. Enjoy your challenge, which they'll give you. And thanks, Elaine. Cheers. Cheers, Elaine, Kevin, Brett, Chepo, Kokoro, Eugene, all of you. Thanks for being here. It's been great having you on board. And I'll see you guys for the next live show, which is on Tuesday. It's weekend, so I'm going to have a nice, relaxing weekend. Tomorrow there is a video coming out about why traders fail. Don't forget to watch that. It's really important. And cheers. Thanks for watching. Until the next one, keep your feet on the ground, reach for the sky, and have a good trading week. Cheers.